Welcome, everybody. Here we are. So last week, earlier this week, we started on talking about community building circles in the classroom. And we learned about restorative practices and why we do this work. We then broke down a community building circle in different chunks. And at the end, we practiced a virtual community circle, and those are all listed up on YouTube. So today, this is a kind of a deeper dive, and it's going to be more interactive, and we're going to practice some of the skills that we learned. So this is our agenda. We're going to go over some guidelines about how we're going to run today. We're going to do a circle, and then we're going to ask your questions. We're going to find out kind of what's been coming up for you, some frequently asked questions, and then at the end, we're going to plan your own circle. So I'm going to give you a guide, like a worksheet, and you're going to be able to plan it. So that is what today's about. So we're recording. So go ahead and mute your microphone, and then when you have a chance to share out, you can unmute. In the chat box, and type some questions so we make sure we get it in the frequently asked question area, or you can just save them and ask them then. And then just so that you know, next week we're going to be doing affective language, which is the next step after this. So and I can kind of tell you about what that is a little bit, but that's Monday. And then again, Friday, then you'll be checking in, kind of coaching and more support around trying those things out with your students. Okay, so those are kind of our guidelines. So last week earlier in the week, we talked about the circle structure. So the circle structure is what I just showed you. We did a little opening, like what's the purpose of our circle? What are the guidelines? Then you do a quick check-in with all your students to see how they're feeling. You can do an icebreaker. We didn't do one last time, but we are going to do one today. Then you have kind of the work of the circle. Those are the discussion questions, that rounds, and they can be academic. They could be something you're dealing with in class. You can teach a second step lesson using those questions in there. Then you check out and you do a quick closing. A circle can last anything from 10 minutes to, the whole period in the second classroom. You can be 35 minutes if you need to talk about something serious. It just depends. So that is the structure.